Hey everyone, my name is Dorothea Ozemok and I decided to take some time out to talk to you guys about life here at Fort Bliss and what it's like being a military member and a military spouse. So life at Fort Bliss is definitely different. It's a very different atmosphere, I would say. It is in El Paso. El Paso's right next to the border. And everybody gets the whole concept of, oh, I don't speak Spanish, I can't survive there. That is a myth, okay? Yes, a lot of people do speak Spanish here, but I do not speak Spanish, so I'm doing perfectly fine, and so is my husband. And everybody says that there's nothing to do here, it's so boring, they don't want to be stationed here, and it's what you make of it. So if you don't want to get up and do something, then yeah, it's gonna be a boring place. My husband and I, we are very active. We like to get out and do stuff. Like, we love hiking and fishing and going kayaking. We always love getting out and doing stuff. And I feel living here, we've had multiple opportunities, plenty, you know, there's a lot of things to do. So like for us, the nearest, there's a man-made lake, and I'm probably gonna butcher the name, like Askarati Lake, which is not that, it's right in the middle, it's not that hard, and you can do a day fishing trip there. It's a nice place, I guess. And that's actually where we started when we first bought our kayaks, or we would start going. Where we end up going to is Caballo Lake. I actually found that place because there's an app, which I believe is called Go Paddling. And if you download it, it tells you all the locations by you that you can go fishing or kayaking at. And Caballo Lake is less than an hour drive from us. It's maybe 40 minutes. And that's kayaking. Like there's like Askarati Lake is like easy beginner, and then Caballo Lake is like intermediate hard. Like, I love kayaking, my husband, not so much. But it's definitely something to do here. It's wonderful. As far as like hiking goes, I love hiking. My husband not so much. But Dripping Springs is one of the places. It's in Las Cruces, which is about 40 minutes away. And the hike, like that whole, it's called Dripping Springs, but that whole like there's just a lot of trails by Dripping Springs you can go to. Or the Franklin National Park, that's Trans Mountain, what most people call it here. There's so many cool trails to hike there, so I would highly recommend that. And a lot of the things here that I've learned in El Paso, it's not really advertised. You really have to look for things to do. So what we've done here, we've done a lot of things. We've gone mini golfing, there's trampoline parks, we've been horseback riding. What else? There's a lot to do. You just actually have to look for it. But on top of my head, those are the main ones. And the horseback riding, it wasn't really, to me, it was not expensive. And it was, I would say, like a mom and pop ranch. It wasn't really a big advertised one, but it's super cool. One of the other things you could do here is you can rent ATVs. We haven't got around to doing that because my husband, he's a military police officer, so he's always working the road or busy, or like he was on deployment. So it's been a lot of me being myself for the past year, but that's okay. As far as like living on post, my spouse and I opt not to live on post just because, like, when you're in the military, you don't want to be around it 24/7. So we opt to live off post, and personally, it's cheaper. Like, if you know how to do your finances, you can save money living off post. So that's what we do. And we actually live in a great apartment. It's 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And we have 2 dogs. There's lots of grass in our apartment complex. We live next to 2 parks. So I mean, I love it. And we live in the northeast side, which is pretty nice. And it's about depending who's driving, 13-minute drive for my husband, 8-minute drive for me to main post, which is Cassidy Gate. So there's honestly a lot to do. I really do like it. Will I miss it? Definitely not. I definitely will not miss being here, just because the majority of the time being here, which is 3 years we've been here, my husband's been at like schools, deployments, and so I'm ready to go to our next duty station, which is Germany. And so I'm very excited for that. Being a military member and being a military spouse, I feel like that's benefited me a lot, more understanding to what's going on. And I feel like one of the sayings, well, first off, let me backtrack. So my husband's in active duty Army and I'm in the Marine Corps Reserves. Definitely different branches, different everything. And yeah, we do butt heads. That's just every branch butts heads. They argue and, oh, I'm better, no, I'm better, and all that. So like for my husband, I tell him, like, you know, the whole Army strong thing and all that jazz. And my husband does the whole, oh, you know, you like to eat crayons joke because I'm a Marine, but that's fine. But it's, anywho, there's a saying called Semper Gumby, which means always flexible. So that's something that I feel, not just as a military member, but as a spouse, you should know that. Semper Gumby, always be flexible, because not just with my husband being a military police officer, but being in the military in general, like planning dinners, weekends, anniversaries, birthdays, anything is extremely hard. And in El Paso, yeah, there's stuff to do, but if you have to look for it. So that can get a little bit depressing, like not knowing what to do and trying to find stuff, and that's a little bit of tricky part. The one thing that I would highly recommend is going to the FRC and the ACS. The ACS is the Army Community Services, and then the Family Readiness Center. They have a lot of services available to get you out in town, do fun activities, or even if you have a social media, look up the MWR. There's always activities, and just get involved. That's the fun thing. You know, on a post here, they do a lot of races like 5Ks and half marathons. You know, and if you have dogs, I wouldn't say like Fort Bliss is like super pet friendly, because some of the shops there aren't really pet friendly. But they do have a nice dog park, and I would say if you're a big dog mom like I am, I have two fur babies. I have a husky and a basset hound. Dog park is on main post, and around the evenings is the time where it gets most poppin'. And that's where all the dogs go, and it's pretty fun because like all the dog parents are super friendly and nice, and when there's a new person, like they know it's a new person because they haven't seen you. And there's regulars who go to the dog park, so that's really nice. And like for me and my kids, or me and my dogs, when we usually go to the dog park on the way home, we stop by Starbucks and get puppuccinos. That's always fun. But as far as like one of the big things about people who service members who are coming to Fort Bliss, who are getting stationed here, they're afraid about like their spouse not finding a job because it's so close to the border. I would definitely say this is a call center town, so there's call centers everywhere. That's definitely like super easy to get a job at, so if you're not picky. Or even serving, waitressing, being a bartender, those are like a very big commodity here, so that's one of the things. If you're like me, a pharmacy tech, or in general in the medical field, start on USA Jobs. Like right when your spouse gets orders here, go on USA Jobs, see what's available. Don't be afraid to call. Like just call. You know, if you want to work at a hospital, call now. That's one of the big things. I would definitely say that one fun thing to do if you're gonna be stationed here with your spouse, or if you're gonna be stationed here, is get a map. It's kind of old school, I know, buying a map, but like go to Walmart or whatever, get a map and get a protractor, or if you know how to draw a perfect circle, do your circumference, like your total mileage, whether that's like 250 or whatever it is, and make like what I wanted to do, but we didn't get around to doing it. We're gonna do it in Germany. Is you can do like your radius, to where like you don't need to put a pass and you don't need to put a leave package in, and find stuff that's within your radius, and like on the weekends plan to do something within your radius. That'd be super cool to do. I highly recommend that. The one thing like I definitely struggled with here was like finding somebody to do my hair and finding an eyebrow lady. I've been going to the same eyebrow lady for 3 years. Definitely gonna be like nervous when I get to Germany to find somebody else, but she's definitely somebody I trust. Been going to her for a while. She does threading. And then my hair lady, I actually took me a while to find her. I had a lot of mishaps, and people don't know how to cut curly hair apparently, or just a lot of mishaps with my hair. So I finally found a hair lady that was recommended to me from another spouse, and I've been going to her since July, and I highly recommend her. I've recommended her to a few of my spouse friends, and they've gone to her. They've been pleased. What else would I recommend to you guys? There's a lot of things, honestly. It's just hard to like make a big, I don't want to make it too long of a video. I would definitely say it is what you make of it. You know, if you're somebody who doesn't want to do anything and you're just here to be here, then yeah, it's gonna suck. But if you're gonna make the effort, go out, do stuff, get involved, then yeah, it's gonna be extraordinary. It's gonna be fun. It's just one of those things. It is what you make of it. I definitely, the last 3 years, we had ups and downs here, not just with us, but you know, with my spouse's command, with my command, and miscommunication, and it was just definitely a struggle, but luckily we're leaving. Another thing I would highly recommend is before you put in leave or even a pass, look at the calendar, see what federal holidays are coming up, because usually you'll get a 4-day or whatnot, like Martin Luther King, that usually, if you don't have like a crazy MOS or you're not working the road or whatever, you'll get a 4-day. So this Martin Luther King Day, they had Friday through Monday off. So that's something I will definitely like be cognizant about. Like, know your federal holidays, know when they're coming up before you put a pass or leave, and so that way you can save your days. It's a perfect time to start worrying about your finances. You know, go to finance or go to the tax preparation center and sit down with somebody and talk to them about it. Know what you're spending, like keep receipts, keep statements, that type of thing. That's another thing I would highly recommend. When you get here, I would also recommend doing like a base tour. Like, just like, even not just like a service member, but like if you're a spouse and you're moving here with your service member, do a tour. Know where legal's at, know where the library's at, the USO, know where everything's at. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to like get involved. Don't be afraid to have fun. That's the one thing. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. There's so many opportunities to get involved. It's nice. I wouldn't say be careful where you go, but a lot of places, oh, you're in the military, you make all this money, which everybody who's in the military, we're like, what? But just be cognizant of where you're going. Don't advertise you're in the service, of course. But that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys have any questions or want to know, you know, good hair salon, nail salons, or where there's good tactical shops at, because there's a few times where of course everybody has to buy gear for turn-ins when you lose shit or stuff. So there's definitely a few places that we found that sell gear, of course. But yeah, if there's anything you guys want to know, any questions, let me know. I'll definitely try to make another video about other Fort Bliss related things. But thank you guys for watching. Bye.